interesting things going on. Give it a go, and I'll see if I can help you out a little bit.
Well, that's it. Well, the guys have been really nice, and they've given me an opportunity to talk to you about stand-up, because as much of a mark I am about wrestling, I'm equally a mark about stand-up comedy. So I'm going to hand you over to the 3 other wrestlers in the room, and maybe we'll have a little chat before we get finished. Right?
All right, you got it, man. Thanks for all the comedy questions. I really appreciate it.
Ciao.
Hi there again, Mick. One thing I wanted to ask you about is you've recently had a bit of a war of words with Dean Ambrose. Can you give us a bit of insight into what exactly is going on there? Is there potential of an actual match taking place? Where does that stand right now?
Oh, man, you guys, you're the first people who've actually, I've been asked about it before, I just haven't answered. But I said I wouldn't talk about him in April, and now it's May. You know what? I mean, he's a really interesting wrestler, a great promo. But man, I specifically asked the guy not to. It's not that he mentioned my family. It's just that it was really morbid stuff about my house being repossessed and my my kids watching and being starved and just really stuff that was bad karma.
Yeah.
And I don't care how good somebody is. If somebody who's been around as long as I have says, "Hey, man, please don't do that," and the guy nods and affirms, I can't remember he actually said yes because he's a weird guy, and he kind of scooted away. But I thought we had an understanding that was off limits. And then when I looked at it, he was like, "Does this guy not get it?" And the more I think maybe in his head, the more I said, "Hey, don't mention my family," it was like that, that heel mentality of, all right, now I got to mention his family. And I appreciate that when I was younger, like if somebody had mentioned something one time, I mean, I would use the term fair game. Like, the family's fair game. If he's mentioned his family and his character, that's fair game. And maybe I would have thought that way when I was his age. But I don't feel that way now, and I respectfully asked him to refrain, and he didn't, and therefore that's a real trust issue. This is not going to be a Brock, if it were to happen, it would not have been a Brock Lesnar, John Cena thing there. I mean, there has to be an understanding when I'm in there that I'm, I can't do things I used to do, and, if I can't trust somebody, I can't wrestle them.
Sounds fair.
Okay, I'm going to pass you over to one of my other colleagues, JD Bravo.
Hi, Mick.
Okay, let's hear it.
I just first like to say it's an absolute pleasure to speak to you again. But got a quick question for you regarding wrestlers and trainees that are just starting out in the business. We've got a few people that are listening tonight that are just breaking out. What would your advice to them be?
Oh, besides, don't do it. Don't do it. Ironically, nothing but heartbreak.
Ironically, I said the exact same thing.
Nobody's happy in wrestling. The best advice I can give people is to be realistic and to understand that the chances of it happening, as far as happening, and going to WWE or TNA are not. I mean, they're just not good. I mean, in the UK. A couple of guys got breaks. Drew, and he got a break, and I know Sheamus is, not from Scotland, but I think I met Drew when I was doing a referee thing in Glasgow, and I met Sheamus, I think, when he was backstage at a WWE show. So I did not meet him at the same time, but the idea that we got our one Scottish guy, like it's tough. It's really tough. And I think the happiest guys are the ones who accept that it's probably not going to happen, and they go out and have a good time without being ridiculously dangerous. And, I might not seem like a good guy to talk about that because I did some wild stuff even when I was on the independents. But, man, you need those brain cells in the real world. So there is a way to have fun and to work hard and have good matches without just obliterating yourself.
Absolutely. Now, Mick, we do have, just before we let you go, because we understand that you are very, very busy, I want to introduce you just finally to the other wrestler we've got in the room. This is Mr. Red Lightning is here as well.
Hi, Mick, how you doing?
All right.
How
you doing there, man?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks. It was just something you'd mentioned there. You mentioned about Drew being, the Scottish guy in WWE, and we all know that WWE, although they're a global brand, they are like a sort of North American company, and they do employ 90% sort of American wrestlers. Do you feel that with Drew being the Scottish guy in WWE at the moment, do you think that there really isn't any room for a second Scottish guy for as long as he's there? Because of course their main market is America, and Americans, I would imagine, want to see Americans on TV. But what's your view on that?
Yeah, you know what? First of all, I'd have to look at the percentage, see if it was 90.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They have a pretty good mix. There's a pretty good international mix in there, but there does tend to be the feeling, I think, that, okay, we got a guy from India, we got a guy from Ireland, we got a guy from Scotland, and it becomes tough to break through. And Drew is a guy who's talented enough and looks good enough that he's due a break, and he'll probably get one, and that will be nice for the people of Scotland to see one of their own doing well. I was always pushing. For example, when I was in TNA, I was pushing for an Indian wrestler because I knew we had more fans in India than we actually did in the U.S. And I may be basing my experience on what I've seen on Twitter, but man, we have so many UK fans and so many fans across all of Europe that I would like to see a little bit more internationally. I'd like to see some guys go out of their way to speak the languages when we go to different countries, to understand your accents maybe. I don't know. You got a good point, but I think they do a pretty good job. I mean, it is predominantly North American. I think there's more Canadians actually than Americans at this point.
Right. Absolutely. Now, Mick, just before we finish, I'm going to hand you back over to Billy, who's going to wrap this up for us.
Yeah, well, Mick, look, is this on?
There we go. Yeah, once again, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks for talking to us, Mick. Just to reaffirm, what dates are you doing again for us in Scotland?
It's August 8th through 11th, and it is available. Tickets are available on the Fringe website.
Yep.
You can also go to realmickfoley.com and just click events. A lot of people have been asking about meet and greets, and that's something we're trying to put together.
Yep.
They might not be directly before or after a show, but since it's a festival and there's comedy going on all month, it might be something where there's a place to do the meet and greet during the middle of the day. Because they're pretty jam packed, and I can't just grab a 2-hour window like I did on the other tours. But I do hope people will come out and check it out. I think almost everybody leaves my shows pleasantly surprised and happy they came.
Very much so. Well, I know everyone in the shows you've done in Glasgow and the shows in Newcastle and all over the place, everyone loved it, and we're all very excited that once again you're going to be coming back and doing Scotland. I'm going to see you in Edinburgh, Mick. I'm going to be over there doing gigs, so I'll look forward to catching up. I've got one quick question though. Are you going to do any other gigs outside of your one-man shows, do you think? Will you do any late spots at the stand or anything like that?
Oh, on this, when are you talking about? In August?
In Edinburgh, yeah.
I'm just doing the 4 at the stand that I know of. I mean, if I get there and people ask me, to do something else, and it's okay with the stand people, especially if tickets have moved really well. I don't know. I mean, it's going to be a learning experience. I'll do what I'm asked to do, and I'm crashing with Brendan and a handful of other comics, so it's going to be... it's going to be a blast. And now, Billy, you're going to be there, right? I'm going to be there. I'm going to be all over the Fringe, and I'll be coming and supporting with my... If you stop by, we might be able to tell our story with the announcer. Well, let's do it. Let's do it. I'm happy to Jericho up for you as well. And I'm happy to also kiss Chris Brooker on stage again if you need me to. I'm more than happy to do that. Well, yeah. You know what, if I can mention... I know you guys probably have to go and you're tired of hearing me talk, but I do try to mix things up, and I try to take what I have, if it's, if I'm in Scotland, I'll try to dig out stories from my experiences there, and I'll try to, a bit like if you're there, Billy, I would love to do that story I tell. Oh, look, the ring announcer. Oh, yeah. Yeah, and look, anytime. But like, I was going to say, if I get a chance to go to Montreal, and it looks like I might, I've already got in touch with Jason Sensation.
All right.
I remember his being. Yeah, he's an amazing voice guy, and we did a couple of shows in Ontario, Canada, and he broke out. You've seen me do the Mr. Miyagi thing, right?
Yeah.
And I've essentially retired that bit, except when I can get a special guest to do it.
Okay.
And so Jason Sensation does Daniel LaRussa as Stone Cold Steve Austin if Mr. Miyagi owns a massage parlor. And man, he puts the wig on, and it just cracks me up when it's like you're looking at Stone Cold doing this thing.
Oh my!
And I don't know. I think Stone Cold himself would either think it's the funniest thing he's ever seen, or possibly not be amused at all by it. But
well, look, we've got all that to look forward to at the Fringe, and of course, people can find you on Twitter. You've got 2 Twitter handles now, I believe. We've got at Real Mick Foley and at Mankindness. Is that right?
yeah, well, Mankind is supposed to be the non-wrestling account, but I blend the wrestling and the comedy in because, quite honestly, nobody goes to Mankindness where I talk about saving the world and that type of thing.
Okay.
So just go to Real Mick Foley.
There we go.
And we'll talk comedy.
Cool. Well, look, Mick, I will see you in August, and I'm sure many of the One Wrestling Show fans will as well. I'll see you soon.
All right, thanks for taking time for me, guys. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, Mick, thanks very much for calling in as well. There we go. Mick Foley here on the One Wrestling Show, late night after midnight. I know, I said it. It is outro time. As soon as we've just had Mick Foley on, we've had an abundance of listeners.
Yep.
Let's get some plugs in.